The living room hummed with a deafening silence. The kind of silence that fills the air with tension, making every breath feel heavy and every second stretch into an eternity. John sprawled on the couch, eyes glued to the flickering television. The screen's glow cast shadows on his face, masking the guilt that gnawed at him. Sarah, perched on the armchair, fumed. Her book lay forgotten in her lap, its pages untouched. She couldn't focus on the words, not with the storm brewing inside her. Every few seconds, her gaze darted towards the overflowing trash can, a silent testament to their unspoken frustrations. It was a small thing, but it symbolized so much more. John knew Sarah was upset. He could feel the heat of her gaze, but he didn't dare look. He was trapped in his own guilt, knowing he had let her down once again, choosing instead to disappear into the mindless chatter of the television. It was easier than facing the storm he knew he'd ignited. He'd forgotten. Again. The trash, the promises, the little things that added up. Sarah took a deep breath, the anger bubbling inside her. She tried to calm herself, but the frustration was too much. It wasn't just about the trash. It wasn't just about the trash. It never was. It was about the countless times she felt ignored, the moments she felt invisible. It was about feeling unseen, unheard, like a houseplant taken for granted, expected to simply exist and provide oxygen. She wanted to be more than just a fixture in the house. She was tired of it, tired of the silent treatment, the unspoken words, the emotional distance that had grown between them. She longed for a connection, for understanding, for John to see her, really see her.
John.
Sarah's voice was sharp, cutting through the drone of the TV. She had been trying to get John's attention for the past few minutes, but he seemed engrossed in whatever was on the screen. John winced, but didn't turn. He knew what was coming and was trying to delay the inevitable confrontation.
The trash?
It was a statement, not a question. Sarah had asked him to take out the trash multiple times already. John sighed, the sound heavy with annoyance. He felt the weight of the day's stress piling up.
I know. I'll get it later.
Sarah slammed her book shut, the sound echoing in the quiet room. She was tired of the same excuses.
Later? You said that last night. And the night before that.
John finally turned, his face a mixture of annoyance and resignation. He knew she was right, but he felt overwhelmed.
What do you want me to do, Sarah? I'm in the middle of something. Can't it wait just a bit longer?
Sarah stood up, her anger simmering. She felt like her requests were always being pushed aside.
It takes 2 seconds, John. 2 seconds to do what you said you'd do. Why is it so hard to just take out the trash when I ask?
Here we go again. It's just trash, Sarah. Why make a big deal out of it? It's not the end of the world, you know.
It's not about the trash. It's about respect. About helping out around the house. About not leaving everything to me. It's overwhelming.
John scoffed, clearly unimpressed.
Oh, here we go again. The everything falls on me routine. It's getting old. I work all day, Sarah. I'm tired too, you know.
Sarah backed away, tears welling up in her eyes, feeling defeated.
That's not fair, John. You know it. You know that's not fair. It's just not right.
Fair? What's fair is that I come home to a clean house and dinner on the table.
So I'm just the maid then? Is that it?
That's not what I meant.
Then what do you mean, John? Because it sure feels like it.
Sarah's voice was quiet now, defeated. John opened his mouth to reply, then stopped. What could he say? He knew he was in the wrong, but his pride wouldn't let him back down. The silence stretched between them, thick with unspoken resentment. All the petty arguments, the unmet needs, the ignored pleas, they hung in the air like a thick fog.
It's not just the trash, is it?
No, it's not just the trash.
What is it then, Sarah? Tell me.
Sarah looked at him, really looked at him, and in that moment John saw the depth of her pain, the exhaustion in her eyes.
I'm tired, John. Really tired. I'm tired of feeling like I don't matter. Every day it's the same struggle, the same feeling of being invisible, like my feelings don't count. I need some space, some time to figure things out, to find myself again.
Sarah nodded, picking up her bag from the floor. Her hands trembled slightly as she gathered her belongings. She didn't trust herself to speak, not without breaking down completely. The weight of her emotions was too much to bear. John watched her, his stomach twisting into knots. He felt a deep sense of regret and helplessness. He wanted to reach out, to stop her, but he knew he didn't have the right. He had lost that privilege, not anymore. He stood there, feeling the weight of his mistakes, knowing that this might be the end. John stared at the ground, lost in thought, wondering if there was any way to fix what was broken. The front door clicked shut behind her, the sound echoing in the suddenly too quiet room. John stood there, frozen, the weight of his actions crashing down on him. The trash can sat overflowing in the corner, a silent testament to their broken promises. But it wasn't about the trash. It never was. It was about the slow, agonizing death of their connection. And John knew, with a sinking certainty, that he was the one who had let the fire go out.